The Israelites had been living in Egypt for many years. They started as welcome guests. But over time, things changed. A new pharaoh came to power. He didn't remember Joseph or what Joseph had done for Egypt. This pharaoh saw the Israelites as a threat. He made them slaves. The Israelites cried out to God for help. God heard their cries. He sent Moses to Pharaoh. Moses told Pharaoh to let God's people go. Pharaoh refused. God sent 10 plagues to Egypt. These plagues showed Pharaoh how powerful God is. Finally, after the 10th plague, Pharaoh let the Israelites go. The Israelites left Egypt in a hurry. They packed their belongings and took their animals. They didn't even have time to let their bread rise. This is why Jewish people celebrate Passover with unleavened bread. It reminds them of their ancestors' hasty escape from slavery. The Israelites were finally free. They were ready to start a new life in the Promised Land. But they had a long and dangerous journey ahead of them. The Israelites began their journey with great hope. They had been freed from slavery by God's power. Now, they were headed to a land of their own. The Promised Land, flowing with milk and honey, awaited them. But the journey was not easy. The Israelites faced many challenges. The desert was a harsh and unforgiving place. The sun beat down on them during the day. The nights were cold. Food and water were scarce. The people often complained to Moses. They wished they were back in Egypt. At least there they had food and shelter. Moses reminded the people that God was with them. He had led them out of Egypt with mighty signs and wonders. God would continue to provide for them if they trusted in him. Even with Moses' encouragement, the Israelites struggled. Their faith wavered. They grumbled against God and against Moses. Yet, through it all, God remained faithful. He provided food from heaven, manna, and water from a rock. He protected them from their enemies. The Israelites continued their journey until they came to the edge of the Red Sea. They thought they were safe from Pharaoh, but they were wrong. Pharaoh had changed his mind about letting the Israelites go. He and his army chased after the Israelites. The Israelites looked back and saw the Egyptian army approaching. They were trapped. In front of them was the Red Sea. Behind them was the Egyptian army. They were terrified. They cried out to Moses, "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness?" They had forgotten God's power in their fear. Moses told the people not to be afraid. He said, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Moses had faith that God would save them. The Israelites were still afraid, but Moses trusted God. He raised his staff over the Red Sea. Then a remarkable thing happened. A strong east wind began to blow. The wind blew all night long. As the wind blew, it divided the waters of the sea. A dry path appeared where the water had been. This path went right through the middle of the Red Sea. The Israelites were amazed. They had never seen anything like it before. This was a miracle. It was a sign that God was with them. With hearts full of awe and newfound courage, the Israelites stepped onto the dry seabed. They began to cross the Red Sea on dry ground. It was a long walk, but they were safe from the Egyptians. All through the night, the Israelites walked through the sea. The pillar of fire continued to guide their way. The waters, now like towering walls on either side of them, served as a protective barrier. They knew that God was fighting for them, and a sense of victory began to fill their hearts. This miracle wasn't just about escaping danger, it was about witnessing the awesome power of their God. When morning came, the Israelites had safely reached the other side of the Red Sea. They looked back and saw that the Egyptian army was following them into the sea. The Egyptians thought they could catch the Israelites, but they were wrong. God told Moses to stretch out his hand over the sea again. Moses obeyed. He stretched out his hand. The waters came crashing back together. The Egyptian army was drowned. Not a single soldier survived. The Israelites were safe at last. The parting of the Red Sea was an amazing miracle. It showed the power of God and his love for his people. The Israelites were never to forget this event. It would forever be a testament to God's faithfulness and might. This event changed the hearts of the Israelites. They had witnessed the impossible. They had seen God's deliverance firsthand. This experience strengthened their faith and gave them the courage to face the challenges that lay ahead. The story of the Red Sea crossing is still told today. It reminds us that God is powerful. He can do anything. He hears the cries of his people, and he will always be faithful to those who trust in him.